sub week, and I'm subbing in for the Monday spot. And we are on week 185, and we're talking about corresponding colors, like correspondences, or what we associate colors with what meaning, because honestly, it differs between each witch or pagan or even mundane people. Like, they'll have a different sense from different colors. It's very fascinating, and I've done a color series on my own channel, and it can get pretty deep. But basically, this is just us telling you how we correspond the colors, and since there's like an indefinite amount of colors, I'll just pick through some of them that I've listed for the fellow collabers. So I'll get started. So black, as I've mentioned before, I love the color black, and yeah, we can argue about it being a color and pigment or whatever. But black for me is positive energy, and yes, I do associate, like many do, with like grounding. A lot of people associate black with dark and bad and shadow and negative, and I don't. I find it very energetic. Like, I love black cats. I like the night. My husband calls me a vampire because I'm just like that stuff. I have a lot of black clothes. You would know by what I'm wearing right now. But black is probably the most powerful color for me. And I think for a lot of people, but it just differs on what it means. Now, white. Okay, so for a lot of people, white is like pure or purity or clean. I see that more with black. With white, I feel it actually being kind of a stifling color. It's an absence of color, honestly. It seems void, it seems vacant, it seems lost. So white is actually a color I don't really like to use when doing magic stuff. It's just, I don't know. I find white to be more negative than any other color. Blue. Now, a lot of people will associate it with water. I do as well, because, well, that's an obvious one. It is, I think, depending on who you ask, like between blue and green, and though green is related to blue in the spectrum, one will say one or the other is the most relaxing color, but blue, I would say, is mine. It is my chill out color, and probably, I would say, when it comes to actual colors, blue would probably be my favorite. So if I'm looking to chill out, or have something with that type of energy in a spell, I'd be using blue. If I wanted to use colors like lapis lazuli and turquoise, I don't know. I also feel it's a very fun color. It's like, along with like calm, it's a happy color for me. So red, and a lot of people will probably agree with this. Red is a power color. It's a very energizing color. It's like an in-your-face color. So whereas for black, for me, is energizing. The difference I see between black and red with the energies is, like, black is like a good cup of coffee that'll slowly caffeinate you over the time you're drinking it. Red is like Red Bull or an energy drink. It'll give you that shit like right away. Or drugs, that'll be an upper, but I wouldn't know since I don't do or have done drugs, and I'm not counting pot. So if I'm looking for like super intense or sexual based, although I would also add purple into this when it comes to sexual stuff, I would use red as a correspondence color. Yellow, I'm not a fan of yellow. It's not a color I really enjoy. I think I corresponded because I'm so sensitive to light and the sun and yellow. I associate it with pain and suffering. So I don't use that unless absolutely necessary for like maybe a negative spell. I would not use yellow. Now, when using like say like a citrine or something, I get a little bit of a different energy from that, but I think the more saturated the color yellow is in something like say construction paper yellow, that's like in your face yellow, compared to like say like a citrine, like it's a super watered down like lemony yellow. My distaste is more towards the more intense. But yeah, yellow is like illness to me. It's like white is vacant and nothingness, and yellow is illness for me. Green is again, it's got a like a calm aspect to it for me. Clearly, being I live in Washington, green is everywhere. So it's one of those colors that is an everyday color for me. It's everywhere. It's in my life. So it's kind of like green is like my homey color. It's like when you've been gone for a long time and you come home, that type of feeling. I would associate it also with money, which again, very common. What other colors? I kind of covered the purple. I find that though, yes, I see how it relates to spirituality for a lot of people, and again, depending on the spectrum of color of purple, like amethyst, I would say is more like cognitive and mental and spiritual, but say like more intense purple, I would deem more towards like sex magic. And I'll just go on this one. Orange, since it's kind of related to yellow and being the primary colors on the color wheel are red, blue, and yellow. Orange is between red and yellow, obviously. Orange is actually like, I would say I would put this one more into, it makes me hungry. And not just because it's called orange, because I'm kind of with even the orange fruit, but it is my appetite. Like, if it's so hard to explain, like I'm feeling a lack of something, I would use orange in the spell because I want to fill whatever that void is. But again, I would say as it gears closer to the red in the spectrum, the more I'm okay with it. The more towards yellow I'm kind of meh about. I'm really weird with colors. I don't know how everybody else is going to like give their 2 cents, but I hope this made sense for you guys. It's a little weird, I understand. But I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on color correspondences and like what the feelings they give you, how you use them in your magic. And I'm curious to see what the other subs have to say. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.